Welcome to the Maine Basketball Rankings Podcast. I'm your host, basketball dad and nerd Lucas McNelly. Today on the show, we are going to look at the girls' preseason poll. Jay Baines is here. We're going to break down every region. It's going to be great. You're going to figure out what region your team is in now, who else is in that region, because everybody's reclassified and it's all over the place. And then we're going to go and see what the collective wisdom of the several hundred people around the state who submitted answers to the preseason poll thought your team should land. And so then you can be mad at them, because not me. I didn't even vote, I don't think. I might have voted. Anyway, today's show is brought to you by Vertical Raise, one of the largest fundraising platforms in the country, now proudly helping teams, clubs, and programs across Maine. With Vertical Raise, your program can raise more money in less time. No selling, no collecting, just results. From new uniforms and better equipment to tourney trips and every fundraising need in between, Vertical Raise has a variety of campaigns to make it happen. Your Maine reps, gold ball winner Christie and DChase are both coaches who know what it takes to run a great program at any sport, club, or grade level, and they understand how important fundraising is to make it happen. Schedule a call or email today and see how Vertical Raise can take your fundraising to the next level. Okay, so we had some gold ball football games to get through. The weather held up. Thank goodness. It was a little bit warmer than last week. I was in the booth with WHOU doing their stats on the broadcast. I didn't know I was going to be actually talking on the broadcast, so that was fun. Making my WHOU debut, I guess, in a lot of ways. Thanks to Rob Kennedy and Jared Richmond for having me on, and Spencer Emerson was there. Spencer did. I mean, I am not the world's biggest expert on football color analysis, but I thought he was pretty good for it being his first time. And Spencer's been on the program, been on the show here. Super nice guy. I've stood on his sidelines a couple times. And he's always super nice, super generous. And you can tell he's a smart guy. Anyway, so the 4 gold ball games, kind of a bust. Really, the only good neutrally, I mean, it's good if you win. The only neutrally good game, I would say, was Stearns Old Orchard Beach last week, which came down to the very end. Thornton Academy and Portland. We said on when Jared and Rob were on the podcast last week that Portland, I keep saying Bangor, Portland really needed to clean up their mistakes from the first game. They did not. So that kind of got away from them. They didn't score. 28-0 was Thornton Academy. They win. They're on the every other year plan right now. So next year they won't win, and then the year after that they'll win, and we'll just keep doing that until the end of time. In the other game at Fitzy, let's wait on that one. So the over in C up in Lewiston, Greeley just annihilated Levitt, which was a surprise. I mean, I had picked Levitt. I figured it would be very close, like the first matchup, which was week 2, 28-26. But by all accounts, Greeley just laid it down on Levitt. Let me find the score of that one. It was not close. It was in the 40s, I believe. Super professional prep here. Yeah, 41-6 was the final on that one. So Greeley repeats sort of, as they won 8-man last year and then moved up to 11-man and won it again. Just looking really quick. Noah Allen, 3 touchdown runs. 3 touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 1 in the air from Luke Piper. Luke Piper ran one in, threw a couple, and I mean, they're really good and they're not going anywhere. They've got a really good coaching staff down there, and a very strong program, as you would expect from Greeley. The other game, Winthrop destroyed Winslow 41-14. Pulling up that real quick. Looks like it was over pretty quickly. Hassan Hobby, a 60-yard run. Carter Rand a run. Porter, a pass from Rand. And then the last game was Westbrook Coney. So Coney was trying to win their second gold ball since the first one being in 2013. Westbrook had never been to the gold ball game before. And Coney had just been a wagon and destroying everyone. But the question is always, when a team is just destroying everyone, are you destroying everyone because your competition's not great, or are you just destroying everyone because you're just that much better than everyone? And the way Westbrook came out and just took it to Coney, it seems like maybe the former. I think if you talk to any coach, I don't know how many coaches want to bring a team into a championship game that hasn't been tested a couple times at least, even if you haven't lost a game. If you're still undefeated, okay. My father in basketball at least never wanted to bring a team into the tournament undefeated, because then you don't know how to respond sometimes. But at least you want to have some close games. You want to have some crunch time, and Coney just hasn't had that this year other than the Oxford Hills game. And Westbrook just came out and took it to him defensively. They picked off Parker Morin 4 times. They had a pick 6. And then Geo Staples took over in the second half. He looked hurt in the first half, and then whatever they did at halftime, whatever they gave him, some special elixir, give me some of that, because I'm hobbling around here too, and he looked great in the second half. So Westbrook wins their first ever gold ball in football, and, good for them. It was an electric atmosphere. They had a ton of people there. They had the band. They were super, super hyped for that one. And they, take home their first ever gold ball. And now the Fitzy race, it's down to the Fitzy race. I don't know, man. It's, Jared was saying on the broadcast, you don't want to judge a Fitzy case based on the gold ball game, but I think the gold ball game is the brightest lights, and that's where you can win or lose if it's close. Cordell Jones didn't have a great game. Parker Morin didn't have a great game. Connor Ayub had a great game. So I don't know. Maybe it's Ayub now. He had a couple of really nice touchdown runs in that one for Thornton Academy. You can mention Geo Staples. I don't know. It's all up in the air. It's not as clear cut as it was last year. But anyway, so that's going to do it for football season. I just wanted to quickly say that this is my second year really doing football, and everybody's been very nice and accommodating, and other than a couple people telling me I'm standing in the wrong place, it's gone well. The podcast audience is up year over year, because this is how I try to judge things. They say month over month, what I do year over year. Up 82.5% year over year. So for football season, so thanks to everyone who watched, listened, commented, liked, did all the things, told their friends, whatever, came up to me at games and said, "Oh, I really like the podcast. It's so cool to hear stuff about Maine schools." Thanks to everyone who did that. So that'll do it for football season. And as Bill Belichick would say, we're on to basketball. All right, here we go. Jay Baines is here to talk about the girls' preseason poll. If you've listened to a Jay Baines episode before, you would not be surprised to learn that we intended this to be one episode, boys and girls, and it went a little long, quite a bit long. So we're splitting it up in 2 parts. Part 1 is going to go up on YouTube, and then the next day later everywhere else. I'm sort of toying around with formats and what I want to do. I'm trying some different things, a little A/B testing. And then part 2, the boys, will come out a couple days later before Thanksgiving, so you can listen to it in the car to Grandma's house for Thanksgiving, or on your way to the South Portland tip-off tourney on Friday, or wherever you're going. It looks like tips off by schedule on Friday. I haven't seen any schedules from an S team that's actually tipping off on Friday. It looks like a lot of people are just starting on the next Tuesday, which is nice because, some of us need to sleep. So yeah, S is going to tip a little early, just a reminder, and then we'll tip in earnest the next Friday. Some programming notes here. We have part 1, part 2 of the preseason poll. Then we're going to have the wins draft, which should come out maybe Friday. And then we're going to do a Mr. Miss basketball draft. And then we're off to the races. So make sure you subscribe on all the places that you could subscribe, because that super helps get the content out there and a whole bunch of other things. So without further delay, here is Jay Baines. My guest today is my mother's favorite guest on this show. Yeah. Jay Baines is back. He's got his Patriots hat on. He's sitting in a school board meeting that he's supposed to be participating in, but instead he's here to podcast.
I was only a phone-a-friend. That was my role.
That's I can't imagine anything more boring than a school board meeting, but the school board meeting where the phone a friend has got to be worse.
So here's the sad part. I told my principal this. I was the student rep on school board when I was in high school, so I
Mm-hmm.
actually enjoy school board. But then again, the level of what is normal for me is vastly different than the average human being,
Yeah.
and it's quite sad. So I enjoyed it, and I learned a lot. And
Hey,
you
well,
know
there
what?
you go.
Learning is the fundamental thing to life.
So
Kind of.
we're as you can see from our backgrounds, we're back on basketball. We're recording this on Wednesday night. So if something crazy happens between Wednesday night and whenever I end up posting this, don't yell at us. But I was at the grocery store today, and a mother came up and asked me when we were going to switch back to basketball, and I said tonight. And the joy that washed over this woman's face was just, she was thrilled. Because it's cold out, and if it's going to be cold, it might as well be basketball season.
Well, I said that because I went to the Maine game on Sunday against Quinnipiac. And first off, big crowd at the pit, okay? Not a ton of empty seats, okay? It's sold
That's
out.
good.
It's sold out, okay? But selling out for 1,400s. Okay,
Yeah.
but it's a Sunday at 2. I mean, that's football time, okay?
But the Patriots played Thursday, so.
Yeah, but then again, the witching hour's at 3:15. So, and if you have red zone, I got off the couch off red zone and went to the game. So that says something for me. But,
Wow.
I'm sitting there and it's like, you know what? I can get used to a warm gym for the next 3 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, was thinking that as I was standing on sidelines, shivering on Saturday all day and Friday.
Yep.
All right, so what we're doing here is I set up a preseason poll on the site a couple weeks ago, and no qualifications needed. I thought about doing a coaches poll, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to spend so much time trying to wrangle these coaches to actually fill the thing out. I might as well just do a preseason poll out to the public. So your only qualifications to vote in this preseason poll is if you can work a computer. But I feel like by posting it on the site, that eliminates some of the riffraff who wouldn't be able to figure out how to get there. So I feel like our not sample size, our selection, our group of people is going to be pretty good. But I think there's a little bit of, we'll see. There's a little bit of screwing around at play. And let's just say this, most teams got a first place vote, at least one. North Haven got a first place vote. I don't think North Haven's going to win S South, but they got a first place vote.
Do they have 2 teams this year?
I think so. And so people could go in, they could vote for as much or as little as they wanted, and it basically just said rank the top 8 teams in each region. And so you could just put one team, and you could say North Haven won and bounce. And I'm sure a couple people did that. So we'll see.
We'll see.
So what's most important here is I'm not really a get in the comments, but this is really an episode where you want to get in the comments and talk about how stupid everybody else is and how much they got this wrong.
You voted.
I voted. Yeah.
I voted, but we're only 2 votes of how many?
There were 200 people who filled out the boys one, and 169 people filled out the girls one.
So we're only 2 of those numbers, and yet all of you in the comments are going to blame both of us.
Yeah,
so
100%.
Or the model.
100%. Yeah, it'll. And this has zero impact on
committee or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah. This has zero impact on the model.
Right.
Just so we're clear.
Okay.
All right. So are we ready? I should bring one of these up. This is super professional. We're relying heavily on post-production here to do this.
I'm excited.
Upload file.
I'm excited to find out what teams or what classes teams are in.
Yeah. That's the side benefit to this is you'll get to figure out who is where now.
Right.
All right. So we're adding to the stage.
Here we go.
All right. So we're going to go. This is girls S South first. We're going to work up. Number 1 is Valley with 41. What is that? 46 first place votes. There's North Haven got one of them. Forest Hills is 2nd. Greenville is 3rd. Pine Tree is 4th. Temple is 5th. Rangeley is 6th. Islesboro is 7th. Vinyl Haven is 8th. and North Haven is 9th, but they did get a first place vote.
So the first thing I think of is I know there is no 8-9 prelim, but a 8-9 Vinyl Haven North Haven prelim should be played on a naval ship with a floor on it in the middle of February in the Penobscot Bay.
Yes.
So
I think that's fair. I think the budget's there for that.
Yeah. Yeah, in this administration, yeah, definitely. We'll just have Bath build it,
Yeah,
Build
they
Bath.
could do it at BIW. I think they could do it at BIW on one of the boats that they're working on.
Easy.
I think that's a great idea.
So it's Valley.
Yeah.
They had, I don't remember her name, but the one senior, but it was a young team that won Class D last year. So this really isn't a surprise.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised at all by this.
Yeah.
I am encouraged as you look at the votes that it sort of clusters pretty well around a spot. So there's not as wide a range of answers as you would expect,
Right.
So people are taking it. It's encouraging in terms of how seriously people are taking it and how much thought people are putting into it. And I think 46 ballots for S South is pretty good.
That is more than how many kids are in most of these schools.
It is. So S, if you're unclear, this is the under 100 schools. They are going to tip off a week early, which is super great if you are, say, covering football and covering basketball and like to sleep at all. So they're tipping off a week early. Their tournament starts a week early, but then they finish their gold ball game with everyone else, and that's really just because of tournament site availability.
Yeah, I know. So I believe Augusta, from what I heard, was going Wednesday, Thursday with the S games, and Bangor was going to go Tuesday, Thursday. And the reason why they're different is because the Globetrotters are in Augusta on Tuesday and Bangor on Wednesday. Which I'm maybe you should incorporate the Globetrotters into the tournament.
Oh, that would be fun.
That would be fun too. It's like, okay, what's the second game of the session? The Generals and the Globetrotters. Okay,
I like it. I want to see someone get really upset.
Forest Hills and Temple.
But in the Forest Hills and Temple game, can they throw confetti on the crowd?
That's a good point. The downside is, or maybe it's the positive side. At least the Globetrotters don't have to worry about making the ferry on time.
That's true. That's true.
Which, 3 out of the 9 here would have to worry about that. But
should we have the MPA's officials, the IABO officials, call the Globetrotters Generals game? Because I would like to see how many travels they call.
Don't set up TJ Halliday for that. Oh man,
I'm getting an email from Barstow in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
The number of dunk technicals in this Globetrotters Generals game would be amazing.
Oh my god. Yes. But yeah, that's how that works. So what they start the week of, the first countable game I see is, I think, the 2nd at Tuesday.
No, I think there's some Friday games. There's like there's some games on Black Friday, I think.
Oh man, we should charge a bunch of money for the rights to that.
There you go.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So there's a Globetrotters game in there. That's when? So there's a Globetrotters game in tourney week.
So not in tourney week. This is the week prior to. This is prelim week.
During prelim week. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, but still, the earliest they would start would be Tuesday. Okay.
Right.
In Bangor for a quarter.
Yeah, they're gonna start. They're gonna be doing their quarterfinals while everyone else is doing their prelims.
Right, but there are no prelims. So is it the worst thing in the world? No.
No, it's not. It's just
there's a difference.
Some people,
we didn't like AA. We like S.
We do like S. Some people are a little mad that they're like, oh, why does S have to go early? And it's like, because of time and space. I don't know what to tell you. It's got to be somebody.
So,
all right. Anything else jump out to you in this region?
No, it's much of the same. It's like the old D South before the schools that got relegated got plunged into it. So,
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm kind of surprised relegation didn't survive this, because I thought it went well. I just think I wonder if the Biddeford girls and Noble boys broke relegation because people just couldn't process that in their heads.
Yeah. I mean, schools. We should point out schools do have the option to petition down, and nothing was granted.
Okay,
So
that's
I
how.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like in soccer, the only ones that were granted were Skowhegan.
Mm,
Um, they got to go down to B.
okay.
Then the girls made the regional final, so I don't know what's going to happen there. But
Oh, I'm sure everyone was super chill about that.
yeah, well, I mean, one of the smallest schools. I mean, they're right on the line, so I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
All right, let's go north.
cool.
Okay. As you can see, nearly everyone except for Easton got a first place vote here. Even East Grand. They got 2 first place votes. Number 1 is Wisdom with they got 26 first place votes. Then Jonesport, Beals, Katahdin, Ashland, Deer Isle, Stonington, Shed, Washburn, Easton. Those are your 8 tourney teams, and then Van Buren and East Grand.
Yep. So I mean, Wisdom was there last.
Wisdom's
year.
been a powerhouse for a couple years.
Yeah, I mean, they almost. I want to say 2-3 years ago, they almost got Southern or Rustic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Wisdom lost.
My mother's a big fan of Wisdom.
Yep. Wisdom lost at the buzzer to Central Rustic in the semi last year. That was the first replay game. I do remember that.
Oh, okay.
So they lost to replay. Not really. They lost. It was clean. But yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, if you look at they were the only semifinal team from last year that didn't stay in D.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's pretty much a no-brainer.
Yeah, no big surprises there.
People seem high on Jonesport Beals. They've got 15 second place votes, 11 third place votes. It seems to be a bit of a consensus there.
Yeah, when did we must have saw them because they made a quarter. They were young. The year before, I want to say they made a semi. So that doesn't surprise me, just knowing how, basketball community. So
yeah. Yep. Anything else jump out there? Like, why doesn't Easton have a first place vote? I think the Easton faithful really need to ask themselves the question of why didn't anyone give them a first place vote?
It's a big question. I think they should have a town meeting in the barn and discuss it. So,
and we're not saying anything bad about Easton. It's just that, you got to show up for these things.
Yeah. You can be a homer. It's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. It can be a homer. I'm wearing a Madomic sweatshirt because it's cold in this room. So it's allowed. I would also wear an Easton sweatshirt if someone sent me one. I'm not proud. I have a Wisdom t-shirt back in that closet. So,
I was digging through old shirts. I found an old Macaulay t-shirt that I bought when they closed. Okay. I'm like, they closed, and I think they had the online stores. There was maybe it was a Maine Girls Academy thing or whatever it was. At the end, I'm like, I need one of those. They're gone.
That's good thinking, man. I wish I had one of those.
Yeah, I found.
Is it a cool shirt or is it just really generic?
It's just like a simple Macaulay basketball, like a practice shirt.
Okay.
Nothing exciting.
I still think there's a lot of money. Someone can make a lot of money in selling T-shirts. We've talked about this before of defunct schools, and then just no one knows the legality of it. So maybe someone should just do it.
Yeah,
because
I think so.
No one gets in trouble for other copyright law violations. So I don't know why this one would trigger anything.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I could make thousands of dollars selling Georges Valley Buccaneers gear, I will. So I'll look into it. You
have a good logo because you could just upload it.
Actually,
you could just make one off for yourself.
I did. Well, actually, that's what I had because I made one for Dad. So I had the logo, and I think I found a PDF copy of a yearbook, and I zoomed in enough to make it big enough to, so it would
make it work.
Print fine, yeah, it was fine.
You can make one, make one-offs. I might start doing that anyway.
Yeah,
I might make myself a Greenville one-off if they're not going to make the good one with the cool logo.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you need a Mexico Pintos shirt. That'd be awesome.
That would be pretty cool. Did they even have a logo?
They must have.
I mean, there's also the Waldoboro High School. Oh, what were they? Blue Jays.
Nice.
That would be a cool one to have.
Nice.
All right. That's where Hawkeye Pierce went to school in MASH.
Okay.
Fun fact.
Okay.
fun Mid-Coast Maine fact for you in the book. He goes to Waldoboro High School.
You will only have these tidbits of information on this podcast. And we're only in Class S girls.
S girls North. All right, so let's move up a tier here. D South. So this is D South, and it's kind of C South.
Yeah.
With a little bit extra, I think is the way to think of it. Like I was talking to someone, they're like, Booth Bay's in D. I'm like, it's really C. So
fourth tier.
Yeah. So number 1 is Monmouth. This is pretty evenly distributed. Mount Abram is 2, Carrabeck 3, Madison 4, NYA 5, Buckfield 6, Richmond 7, Booth Bay 8. Nope, first place votes for Booth Bay. Come on, guys. OOB 9th, Telstar 10th, Wiscasset 11th with 2 first place votes, equaling the number of wins they have in the past decade, and Searsport is 12th.
So, looking at the C-South tournament from last year, of the semifinal teams, Madison is the only one who's in this new D.
Okay.
So, I thought they might be a little bit higher. Monmouth was a 6 seed last year. They actually lost to Madison in the quarter. Mount Abram, they lost to a Poland team who was relegated in a prelim, so I don't know how much you can take from that. And then Carrabeck. Carrabeck was the 2, but they got upset by Dirigo, who stayed in C. So
they'll stay in C, yeah.
Yeah, nothing really surprises me here. I noticed they shifted Searsport back down to the south. They weren't originally there. But
yeah.
I think they wanted to balance
it
out.
I think they're on the line.
Yeah, I think they balanced it out when St. Dom's closed. So
Right.
Yeah.
I do know that I heard from Mick LaBelle at Lincoln County News that Booth Bay has a freshman who's pretty tall and not a deer on ice skates.
Okay.
So that's something to keep an eye on.
Yep.
I don't know how good she is, but she's tall. And he seemed encouraged by that.
Yeah, what's interesting to look at here is, there more and more teams have moved to that East-West conference.
Mm-hmm.
So, you don't have a ton of Mountain Valley Conference teams in here. I mean, you have what? Monmouth. I think Mount Abram still is. Madison.
Is Carrabeck still in there?
No, I think they switched.
Did they go to East-West?
Think so. Don't quote me on that. Okay.
Right.
Or yell at me in the comments.
Yeah. Throw it in the comments. This is really a perfect episode for comments.
Yes. So yeah, I mean it's not like your traditional C or D. This is D now, but where it's pretty much Mountain Valley Conference dominated. So yeah.
Joe Bailey asked me at a football game. He's like, "How long do you think it will take you to get all these teams sorted in your head and figure out where they all are?" And I'm like, "Oh, it'll be like January."
Yeah, I mean, I think the top end is going to be easier.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Well. All right. Anything jump out at you here?
Not really.
All right. Well, let's move on. D North. What do we got? Bangor Christian. That's kind of a surprise. Oh, they have the Allen girls.
Yes.
That's what that is. They're one at with 13 first place votes. Penobscot Valley has more first place votes at 27, but they're second. Central Aristic is third. Southern Aristic is fourth. Machias fifth. Skank sixth. Fort Fairfield seventh. Guag is eighth. Madawaska is ninth. Hodgson is 10th. Stearns 11th. But they got that gold ball in football, so they're not sweating anything. Lee Academy is 12th. Piscataquis is 13th. And Woodland is 14th.
So I do want to know, PCHS will not have a girls team this year.
Right.
So
right, they those players will go to Dexter, I think.
Yeah, those are.
That's what Mark from Eastern Maine Sports was on that story.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think we're missing one.
Are we? That's very possible.
Give me a second, unless they got no votes.
Oh, that's possible too.
Hold on. So I thought there were 15. And it's 15. Yeah, I don't see Penquist on there.
Penquist doesn't have a team this year.
They don't?
They don't. They have a boys team, but not a girls team this year.
Or is that PCHS? Because
I think it's Oh. No, Piscataquis is in there. PCHS. They're 13th.
Yeah. So PCHS doesn't have a team. Penquis Valley does.
No, Penquist does not have a team.
That's Milo. Hold on. We know the other PVHS.
Where is Mark Calnan when we need him?
I know. I don't know what I missed that. Hold on. If I go to Penquis Valley High School, do I see a basketball schedule listed? I do see a girls' basketball schedule.
For Penquist?
In the MPA site, yeah.
Oh.
So, interesting.
I
mean, you were half right. I mean, Penobscot, Piscataquis.
Yeah, okay.
Well, let's look at the top. Let's focus on the top 8. So, I mean, obviously, the Allen girls go to Bangor Christian.
That's big.
That is big. It's still a Bangor Christian team that was in a semi last year. Did they go to the final? They were the one seed. They were upset by
Skank. I think
they
did go to the final.
No, they were the 1 seed. They were upset by Skank.
Okay.
But a young team that they had last year, so that doesn't surprise me.
But adding the Allen girls is huge.
Right. So, and in Penobscot Valley, they bring back Riley Moulton, Brooklyn Raymond, a lot of the offense with those two, and they could shoot the 3 from anywhere.
Plus, I mean, Nate Case is just just reloading with freshmen. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. So, and what's interesting is those two teams won their respective classes in soccer.
Oh right, yeah, they did.
So, lots of athletes, and a lot of them play basketball. Yeah, Central Rustic coming in at 3. They lost. Actually, no, Central Rustic won D North last year, so that doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
They were sophomore laden last year. Lily Burt, one name I remember, and of course Southern Rustic. So
they had a ton of injuries last year.
They weren't healthy last year. So the interesting thing, I'm gonna try to pull some schedules while I'm in here, is how much crossover there will be with the county schools and the schools more in the PVC area.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of looking at Penobscot Valley schedule. They don't have their full schedule in here yet, but
I've seen it online. I think I've seen it on Instagram or something.
Yeah. Actually, no. I think I have it in my master. Because they're a school. It helps when they play 9 schools twice. Yeah, so they don't.
That's
there's
handy.
There's no really no, other than playing Lee. There's really no crossover between those county schools coming south. So they won't see each other until the tournament. You're more likely. Machias coming in 5. They were
with no first place votes.
No first place votes. They were C last year. Came in as a 7 seed. They kind of got walloped by Mattanock in the quarter. But let's see if I can find that Machias schedule. Because again, a lot of different regions within, D North. So there's not a lot of crossover. And there's a lot of, crossover playing S schools now to help them fill out their schedules, and then playing some C schools. So
it's a lot of different kingdoms.
Yeah. And they pretty much stay on the coast. They do play Skank, though. And Bangor Christian. The Machias does play Bangor Christian. So a lot of those, Bangor area,
right,
area down to the coast, they more likely to play each other. So yeah, not a lot surprises me. Obviously, you're kind of looking at those top 2 and kind of feel like there's a collision course there. I believe they do play twice.
Yeah, I sort of look at those top 2, and then I'm sort of looking at Southern Heuristic lurking.
Yeah,
just because they're Southern Heuristic,
right?
And if they can get healthy, I don't know what they have coming back, but I feel like you don't want to count them out,
right?
At any point,
right? So that's the big. So December 16th, PVHS at Bangor Christian. So it's quite early in the year.
Yeah,
and I'd assume they would make a return trip.
Yeah, that's a good litmus test.
So that'd be at the Cross Center, because that's where Bangor Christian plays. So little tourney preview there. So yeah, nothing really surprises me. I think things will kind of work itself out, just assuming everyone stays healthy.
Right.
Last year was just a bad year. I just feel
Mm-hmm.
more so on the girl side too. So I mean,
Just with injuries and such.
Yeah, at least more than normal. Maybe we just hear about it more.
Do you see the stuff about the NBA injury rates being like off the charts this year?
I didn't see it. I heard it. I kind of in passing in the car.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, I mean, but then again, the Celtics have been pretty healthy at the same time.
Other than the one big one, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm well in regards to what the roster is now. I mean,
Right.
no one's really missed a game or two. I know Coop's sick tonight, so I knew he wasn't
Cooper
going to
is?
play. Yeah.
This Celtics team is kind of feisty. They're kind of fun to watch because I don't really have a good read on them yet. But I'm like, oh, Josh Minott, he's doing stuff.
Yeah, I watched some of it last night in Brooklyn. So, I mean, but if it's a close, I'm going to watch a close game. Probably the nature of the beast is you either want to be really good or you want to be terrible, especially with this draft class.
Right.
So I think you mean a lot of people frustrated being in that play-in realm. But then again, if Tatum
comes back, I think the goal in this season is to find some pieces that work for next season, like Minott, if you figure out what you've really got with Kata, people like that.
It's a gap year.
It's a little bit of a gap year, and maybe they lose the play-in and get lucky in the lottery.
But we would enjoy if they're in a play-in game. We would enjoy the hell out of that.
Oh, of course, yeah, 100%, 100%.
All right, where are we next?
D South.
C South. Who the hell is
C South? C South. Spruce Mountain is number 1, 17 first place votes. Halldale, Maranacook, Winthrop is 4th. Wells is 5th. Mount View is 6th. We're back over in the south for Mount View. Dirigo is 7th. Mountain Valley is 8th. Winslow is 9th. Oak Hill is 10th. Trape is 11th. Waynefleet is 12th. Lisbon 13th. And Sacopee Valley 14th.
So, just strange, stupid tidbits. This is the first time Winslow's been in the south or west.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that is a fun tidbit.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, kind of, but so I mean, you have an interesting mix of teams. I mean, this is mostly MVC centric. What
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, the top 4, Dirigo, Mountain Valley. Yeah, I'm counting 8.
Couple KVAC schools in there.
Couple KVAC schools in with Mount View and Winslow. So they're kind of playing mixed bag schedules.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a Spruce Mountain team that. How far did they get last year?
Pretty far.
Lost to Biddeford.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a Spruce Mountain program, and this will come up with the boys too. That was very, very competitive in B.
Yeah.
The girls more so than the boys. They are one bad call away from a state championship in B.
Mm-hmm.
And they're now in C in the new configuration, and I still think they would be competitive in the new look B.
Yeah, so they were a small B, and now they're a big C.
Right. So that's
the difference is, I mean, but their schedule really doesn't change.
Their schedule doesn't really change.
And no one's schedule really changed other than a Mount Ararat. But
their schedule will change a little bit because they were scheduling up some of those B schools. They were playing your Oceanside, your Madomics, and they were trying to make their schedule as hard as they could make it for tournament to prep themselves for the tournament. But now you still want to play as hard a schedule as you can to prep for the tournament, but you're not going to see those teams in the tournament.
Right. So, I mean, you have a Spruce team that made a B semi. You have a Halldale team that made the Class C state final last year.
Mm-hmm.
Maranacook lost a prelim last year at Presque Isle because they were B North.
Mm-hmm.
Winthrop lost to Halldale in the semi. Wells is interesting.
Wells has been very good lately in B.
Yeah, so
they were a little bit down last year.
Well, they lost to Biddeford in the quarter.
Was that okay?
Yeah, and then Dirigo kind of coming. Yeah, Dirigo came was a 10 seed last year and made a semi. So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of depth.
It's a lot of depth.
Here in A North, particularly on the girls' side, which we'll get to. Yeah, nothing really surprises me here. You'd think those 4 teams, up top will kind of beat up on each other.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all in close proximity to each other. So it'd be nice. It's near my
Yeah,
grandparents. So
that could be a very interesting tournament.
I don't know how much, or I don't remember how much Halldale loses. But
I don't know either.
yeah, no big surprises here. But it's deep. I mean, Sea South's deep.
It's very deep.
Yeah,
it's very deep. This is the Spruce going down to sea is one of my like sort of notes of going. Did we have to do this?
right.
Them and Caribou going down,
Yeah.
and Penobscot Valley probably would be the other one.
Well, I mean, we say going down, but they were in the third biggest class last year, and now they're still in the third biggest class. Right. So, I mean, it's just we made the small class for the small schools as opposed to the big schools. So,
right. Okay.
All right.
Anything else jump out of you? Let's go to C North.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, C North. Matt Knockhook is number one with 26 first place votes. Caribou second, the defending Class B champions with 15. Foxcroft is third. Dexter's fourth. Fort Kent is fifth. Callis is sixth. Orono 7. Holton 8. Bucksport 9. MCI 10. Central 11. Washington Academy 12. Sumner 13. And GSA at 14.
So I want to start with MA. They gave Penobscot Valley all they could handle in the regional final.
Mm-hmm.
They still bring back Addison Sear. They still bring back Megan House. I believe they only graduated one rotational player. So that doesn't necessarily surprise me there. I was interested to see how people viewed Caribou moving down to C. But then again, you lost,
Miss Basketball
with Depre. What was her? Ainsley Karen, they graduated. They graduated a ton of good players. Yeah, you still bring back Liv Adams. Quinn Corrigan is now a sophomore with a little bit of state championship experience, cold as ice mine. I do know. So Caribou does play Mattanockhook. I do know that.
Ooh.
MA and Foxcroft do not play, which seems kind of a disappointment. And so let me see who MA has. So MA has Callis, Caribou, Dexter. They do have Fort Kent. Yeah, GSA, Holton, Orono. They still have 2 against Penobscot Valley, and then Sumner. So they play a lot of the core in this class. I want to say, I think Mattanockhook does a Fort Kent Caribou back-to-back overnight.
Wow. That's a road trip.
Then that's no, that's no easy ticket either. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, Foxcroft was young last year. The one time I did see him, it was a rock fight in Old Town. It was like 27-21.
Oh boy.
I want to say it was 9-6 at the half. Yeah, it wasn't. It was. Ooh, yeah.
So the misery rating was high on that one.
It was high. Yeah, but oof. Yeah. Yeah. Dexter won't. I mean, they lose their point guard in Corson and a couple other pieces there, but Jody Grant. I mean, he's gonna play. Just hard nosed.
Do you want to hear how dumb I am?
Yeah.
I thought Dexter was in a completely different part of the state until I went up there for the T-Mobile thing. I didn't realize they were right next to Nokomis. I thought they were like over by Ellsworth.
Oh.
In that area. Huh. I don't know why I thought that. It's just, because I'd never been there. Right. So and I no reason to like look them up on the map or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, they're over there. They're over by, Ellsworth, maybe down east a little bit.
Yeah.
Whatever. But no, right by Nokomis.
Huh. So, let's look. So, obviously, Mattanockhook lost in a regional final. Caribou 1B. Foxcroft missed the tournament. But Dexter,
did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know for the wins draft. Because for the wins draft, which we're doing pretty soon here, I need a team that missed the tournament.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest one. That's the hardest category.
Yeah. But think of the change in their schedule. They come out of the Big East and, play more of a traditional Foxcroft Penquist League schedule. So, but Dexter lost by 3 to Mattanockhook in the semi last year. Fort Kent was upset by Dexter. Is that score right? 29-18. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's Dexter. Yeah, that's. Orono's an interesting thing. So Orono's played down the past couple of years. They were Class B by enrollment. They petitioned down to C. They failed to make a prelim.
Did they petition or did they get relegated?
They got relegated. So really, yeah. So they didn't petition to stay. Anyway,
Right,
so
they didn't fight it.
They were relegated, yeah. So, but now they're back in their class by enrollment. It'll be interesting to see what they do there. Holton, another one of those schools, dropping or moving to C from B. Bucksport also, they were another relegated team. I don't think they made the quarter last year. They didn't. So, and then a couple teams, MCI. Oh, what did MCI do? They missed the tournament.
MCI's had a pretty good record the last couple of years, but it's been sort of soft where they've beat up on some. Because I know when my brother was coaching and Madomic would play them, we sort of looked at their schedule and they had they were worth a lot of points, and they were super clean because no one else in B South was playing them. Right. So that's, if you're game planning out heel points, if you see a team with a lot of points that no one else in your region plays, you really want to win that one because you don't have to share those help points with anybody else.
True. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. Okay, so 14, so to be top 10.
Yeah, that would be top 10.
So Central doesn't have the Allen sisters anymore.
I bet they're thrilled about that.
Yeah. WA, Summer, and then you have the Downies. Yeah, more the coastal teams. So nothing really surprises me. I mean, you would have to pencil in kind of those MA Caribou games to start. Actually, Caribou. So interesting note about Caribou. So everyone's like, Caribou moved to B. Oh, no. Or moved to C. Oh, my God. It's like, you look at Caribou's schedule, and, I mean, they still play 6 Class B games, okay? They kept Presque-Isle.
You got to keep Presque-Isle.
Keep Presque-Isle twice because it's the law. They kept Old Town twice. They kept Ellsworth twice. So, but if you look at their schedule, I believe the only school that was on their schedule last year that isn't on their this year that wasn't on their schedule last year was Mattanock. So, and of the schools of the 12 Class B or Class C games they play, 4 of them are against schools that also drop from B to C. So they're kind of stays. You look at the schedule, you're like, okay, so Fort Kent, Presque-Isle, Ellsworth, or not Ellsworth, well, Ellsworth, yes, but Holton, but they've traditionally played,
all those teams
in Orono or Foxcroft or WA, so these are schools they're used to. So if you look at it just on the schedule alone, it's like, there's not much change there. It's just the little letter next to their class.
Right. So, it's almost impossible for Presque-Isle and Caribou to play a full B schedule anyway.
No, and in Presque-Isle really, well, we'll get to Presque-Isle later. So, but they travel as much as they would. So I think the PVC did a phenomenal job kind of figuring this whole thing out. But the idea of Caribou in Class C is still a little, okay.
It just looks weird.
Well, especially because there's 20 kids difference to them in Presque-Isle, and there's 9
something
miles
like that,
apart in their different classes. So
that was one of the notes I gave the MPA when they were putting these plans. I was like, I would not worry about the numbers so much if it's keeping rivals together.
Yeah.
I think one of my notes was Halldale and I forget who else, but they had them split up in one of the plans, and I was like, I would just keep them together in the same region because drama.
Right. But then again, I mean, Presque-Isle should be pretty good too. I mean, this year too. So I mean, even those Presque-Isle Caribou games, especially when a lot of the rest of B North doesn't really have access to those points, other than Fort Kent and Holton, there's value there. So we'll see.
All right. Should we move on?
Yep.
All right. Let's move on to B South. Oceanside is 1 they have 17 first place votes. GNG 2nd, Madomic Valley 3rd, Greeley 4th, Marshwood 5th, York 6, Poland 7, Freeport 8, Yarmouth 9, Lincoln Academy 10, Cape 11th, Leavitt 12th, 13th is Lake Region, 14th is Freiburg, and 15th is the Shipbuilders of Morse.
So remind me, okay, so Oceanside brings back what, Ripley, Mackey, the younger Breen is there right now, right?
They have the younger Breen, yes. Okay. She was in Florida and came back.
Okay.
But she missed last year with, I think, a shoulder injury. Okay. It was an injury like that. It was not legs, because legs, you're more worried if it's like an ACL or something. It sounded like, I'm going to get yelled at for getting this wrong, but it was like a separated shoulder or something like that. I don't know if it was her shooting arm or a non-shooting arm.
But they have pieces back. I mean,
they have pieces back from the team that lost in the regional final to Biddeford.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's not over
who we saw pull a horseshoe out of nowhere on the final play against Madomic Valley.
Right.
But kudos to making a ridiculous shot.
Yeah.
To send it to overtime.
So Gray New Gloucester
still upset about it.
Yeah, I know. I texted you, I'm like, are you okay? It's like, did that just happen?
And you were sitting next to me.
Huh? No, that was the final. I was there for the final.
Oh, you were there for the final. Oh, okay. You were there for the Biddeford game.
Yeah.
Okay. That was traumatic. Yeah, that was a traumatic ending.
So let's look at this. So Gray New Gloucester, they lost to Mount Ararat in the A South final last year. Madomic
lost Katana Williamson. Is the big question with Madomic is, can they replace Katana Williamson, who was a Miss Basketball semifinalist?
Yeah.
And was really the engine of that team on both sides of the ball.
Let's look at Madomic's schedule.
But Madomic will have a lot of height. They got Chloe Fox, who's going to be a senior. She's a really good rebounder. They've got quite a bit of size.
She the goalie?
Yes.
Okay.
She's not small.
Yeah.
And I mean that in a basketball way and not in any other way. She's just very tall and lanky and reminds me a little of Time Lord, like early Time Lord.
Okay.
A little bit, you know.
So you look at Madomic's schedule. They play an Erskine team that should be very good.
And I'm sure that game will go very calmly and swimmingly, and nothing bad will happen at all.
Night at Madomic.
Beautiful.
Bring your phones. Yarmouth, Morse. They do have Gray New Gloucester.
Interesting.
Yeah, they go Gray New Gloucester, and then 2 days later they play Camden. And then Lincoln. So, yeah, it's no rest for the weary.
It's not the easiest schedule in the world.
No, Oceanside, Lawrence, Coney twice, Erskine twice, Oceanside twice. Yeah, so points are there. Can you survive it? We'll see.
Yeah.
Greeley, I think they were a little down, what we call down for Greeley.
Yeah, what is down for Greeley?
Lost in a quarter last year. And then there's Marshwood. So here's the thing with Marshwood, and I was wondering if they were going to stay in B.
Mm-hmm.
They're an SMAA school.
Right.
They play a full Class A schedule.
But they're in B.
Yep.
Interesting.
So, and actually,
which brings me back.
Well, here's the interesting note. I think I only counted 1 or 2 schools in Class A who played a full Class A schedule. Okay? And yet Marshwood
does.
Yeah.
I'm once again saying that the MPA should make a rule that you have to play X number of games in your region.
Yeah.
You have to play a minimum, let's say 6. You have to play 6 games in your region.
12, but okay.
And then, or whatever the number is, something, because it's dumb to not. And then, it's just a question of like seeing Marshwood play York, for example. It gives everyone a better idea of how good they are versus et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And if they just come in, and they've not played anybody, like Biddeford last year didn't play anybody in that region. And it's just a real wild card for the tournament. And so maybe that's good in a way, you could argue, but it's also just weird.
Yeah, and you look at it like a Marshwood and York. I mean, they're what, 6 miles apart and they don't play?
They're pretty close. Yeah.
It's like, okay. And I get it. I know the SMAA moved to have a closed schedule, okay, after all these crossovers, because let's be honest, 16 of the 17 teams are within that region. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I thought, well, this Marsh would petition up. It was a little weird. The cutoff for basketball was 675, but soccer at 665 because that extra 10 kids really makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I was interested to see how that. We'll see there, but that's definitely a sleeper, and kind of a team of mystery when we get into February.
Right.
York's always been good. A lot
Yeah.
of these teams they've just
York's
always
always a
been
tough
good.
out.
So I think you look at probably maybe a little bit of gap. So Poland petitioned or was relegated down for a couple years, so now they're back
Mm-hmm.
to where they are now. So yeah, I mean nothing totally surprises me, but I'm just happy to
Levitt
see.
seems a little low to me.
I don't know much about them, so
They've always been feisty, and I'm just wondering now if they graduated all the feisty players. If that's why, but I mean, two people
what
have them
class were they last
finishing
year?
first.
B?
They were in B South last year.
So they lost to McDonald.
Yeah, they had
Yeah.
McCoy, who was pretty good. They had some good
Mm-hmm.
players.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
They were a don't sleep on them team, and Lake Region must have graduated their big, who
okay.
she was a handful in the tournament.
Yep.
In tournament games, I remember that.
Yep.
All right, moving on.
Yes.
We might get this done in one episode. This is, we're going at a pretty good clip. All right, B North, Lawrence. No surprise. Number one with 31st place votes. Then Coney is second. Ellsworth third. Erskine fourth. MDI fifth. Gardner sixth. Presque Isle 7. Old Town 8. Herman 9. Baptist's is 10. They lost what's her name?
Gattani.
Claire Gattani, right? She's graduate. She's not there. Nokomis is 11th. Belfast is 12th. Waterville is 13th. Where do you want to start with this?
Well,
Maddie Provost Revenge Tour.
Provost. Yeah. I mean, she's officially signed with Holy Cross.
Okay.
That broke yesterday. You have a Coney team with a new coach this year. I'm interested to see kind of what happens there. So you think those Lawrence Coney battles of yesteryear are kind of back and meaningful this year? We'll see what Ellsworth does being healthy.
Yeah, that's the big question with them.
Bowles is a senior. Sid Mason's there. The younger Atherton's there. I mean, they had a lot of younger players have to play last year because of injury.
Sometimes that's good.
Yep. So you would think probably that's kind of the top of the Big East, at least on paper, just knowing what they'd hoped to be last year.
Mm-hmm.
We thought, last year was supposed to be the third of three straight, but, it never worked out.
Right.
I'm surprised Erskine might have been. I think I might have had Erskine and Coney flipped in mine. We'll see what goes on, there.
Look at the distribution of votes for Presque Isle.
Yeah.
They've got like at least 3 for every single spot.
So the thing with Presque Isle, they graduated nobody.
Mm-hmm.
So that in itself, and they were decent last year. They were in the 8 seed. They lost to Caribou in the quarter. But, in 8 seed that I think probably won 9 or 10 games too. So, and they do have points on their schedule. They do have 6 C's, but, Fort Kent is good. Besides Caribou, Fort Kent should be pretty good this year too with a ton of wins. Yep. And Holton will probably be in the middle of the pack of C. And they do play 1A because they have Brewer twice.
They have Brewer twice. Huh.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you got to get games
so,
without having to drive to Augusta.
Well, I think if your option is like, hey, pick a KVAC team, like why drive past the A's when,
Mm-hmm.
So, which is cool there. Old Town graduated one rotational player in Liz Magoon. There's a core.
This is looking pretty deep.
Yeah, I mean the Big East is just gonna the 6 teams in the Big East are probably just gonna beat up on each other. We'll see what Herman does with a new coach. And I kind of liked what Baps was doing without Gattani last year,
Huh.
especially because they, obviously they depended on her for a ton of the scoring, but even when she was off the floor, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of good, younger pieces there. So we'll see what Matt Smith um, does with them. But yeah, I think those six Big East teams are kind of, kind of a slog to say the least.
So the thing here that's jumping out at me, and I don't know if maybe I'm losing my mind
Yeah,
because put me in a time machine and I would never have believed I would say this. Is Belfast too low? Weren't they like a 4 seed last year?
they were
And
they were
like,
a 5 seed 2 years
pretty,
ago.
and pretty young.
Yeah, so they lost to Herman in the quarter last year, and then Herman lost by 1 to Erskine. Excuse me, Belfast lost to Herman in the prelim. Herman
Okay.
lost to Erskine in the quarter. Um,
I mean, I
and
feel like they should be like in the 8-9 range, somewhere in there.
I don't know. I mean, I don't see a ton of them, but Belfast, I want to say they have MDI twice.
Hmm.
They have Ellsworth twice. I think they have Herman probably once or something like that. So we're going to see them a lot more in my area than we would
Right.
in years past. So, yeah, perhaps. I don't know.
It's just yeah, it strikes me as weird. But again, you take me back 5 years, and I would have never said that.
Right. So, yeah, this is deep. I'm hoping for the MPA. Some of these Big East teams make it deeper into the tournament because I can't imagine the KVAC teams are going to love going to Bangor.
Mm-hmm.
A Lawrence Coney game in Bangor seems, yeah.
I know it's been discussed, and I don't know how far they've gotten down this road of
Yeah.
flexing the schedules.
Yeah, I think if you did a true swap, it'd be easier. But I don't know. But the schedules are so tight right now too that I mean,
Yeah,
how much can you really work?
I
But
think they're worried about grandma going to the wrong game.
I have a
Or going
story
to the
with
wrong
that.
venue.
I'll tell you offline.
Okay, great.
So
I love it.
yeah, so I mean, yeah, it again, and maybe it's just because there's more parity. Maybe it's just because girls basketball has developed over the past 10, 15 years, but you don't see a lot of 1 and 2 horse races
Mm-hmm.
that we have in years past. So
Which is good.
interesting. I don't know how early it is. We didn't mention MDI. They graduated Tozier, but they had a great summer from what I read. Yeah, we'll
They got a
see.
lot of third place votes.
Yeah, interesting. I wonder how many people voted, Ellsworth 1 and MDI 8th, and then people voted MDI 1 and Ellsworth 8.
Well, there
Pettiness.
was I think on Valley where we started, I think 2 people had Valley 8th.
And they're from Jackman.
Maybe. We haven't done a forensic audit of this, but I'm pretty sure they're from Jackman, yeah. There was a little bit of that going on in the voting.
Right. I want to say there's not a ton of KVC Big East crossover, but I think Herman has Lawrence and Coney, which is only interesting just because I want to, you see these teams before the tournament. Let me pull this up real quick.
I'm sure Herman's thrilled to have Lawrence and Coney on their schedule.
Well, what's interesting because I'm not totally privy of how it kind of came to be, but the rest of the Big East teams, they have Class A games this year, and there hasn't been, at least within the PVC, there hasn't been Class A B crossover since the early 2000s. Herman does not have them though, which is a little like Old Town has Bangor, Brewer, Hamden once. Ellsworth, I want to say Ellsworth has Bangor and Hamden once, and then Brewer twice. MDI I think has the 3As once too. So, it'd be interesting to see a Bangor team that should be pretty good this year. It's like how do they, how does a Ellsworth and MDI, an Old Town kind of compete with them? Same goes with Hamden. Hamden, they really graduated one player. I think actually
Right.
they only graduated one player. So we'll get to A in a second, but it's almost like you mentioned earlier with your brother. It's like these clean help points. No one
Yeah.
has access to these. Same thing with Presque Isle if they get Caribou once or beat Caribou
Mm-hmm.
once. Can you take advantage of these opportunities? And then you can, kind of go from there.
Yeah, and that can be huge if you're in one of those like 3-team races for a spot.
Yeah.
Just to have that help, those clean help points.
Right, because I mean, you look at, I see, and not to disrespect the bottom 3 teams on this list, but I think they're, at least going into the season, you'd think there's a sizable gap between John Bass and Nokomis.
Mm-hmm.
Only 9 make it out of 13, so
yeah,
we'll see what happens. But
yeah. All right, let's move to A. A South. A South is brutal. I'm excited for A South. Cheverus finishes at first with 11 first-place votes. Biddeford, the nearly state champions, finished second with 11 first-place votes. South Portland is third with, you guessed it, 11 first-place votes. They're the defending A champions. Gorham is fourth. Thornton Academy is fifth. Sanford is sixth. Wyndham is 7th, Portland is 8th, Scarborough 9, Deering is 10, Kennebunk is 11, Bonnie Eagle 12, Westbrook 13th, Noble 14th, Falmouth is 15th, Massabesic 16th.
So let's start at the top. Okay.
Yeah.
Cheverus lost in the state title last year to South Portland. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Biddeford lost in the state final in B to Caribou. Okay. South Portland won AA. Gorham lost to South Portland in the regional final.
Mm-hmm.
TA, okay, they lost in a quarter, but then you have a Sanford team that made a semi, a Wyndham team that lost to Bangor by 1 1/4. It's stacked. It's
very
100% stacked. So I mean, I'm counting at least, I think, 6 or 7 teams that made semifinals last year within one bracket,
and 3 defending regional champions.
Yep.
And that Biddeford team they were in the smaller class, but did they graduate anybody? They're really young.
They were young.
Really young
last year. So
yeah, Crump was a sophomore. The Silva twins were freshmen last year, I think.
Were they?
I think so, or they were sophomores. One of the two. They were really young.
So my first thought is, when does Cheverus and Biddeford play? And it is I have them late or end of the season. When does
they only play once?
I think so. Hold on, let me get a sheet that has a full schedule. Okay, Biddeford. I'm just gonna start with Biddeford. I think everyone in the SMAA plays each other at least once. So there's 16 games, and then it's like, who are your doubles? I think that's how they kind of do it. Yeah, let's look at this. So Biddeford goes to South Portland the 19th of December.
Ooh.
They have Gorham actually the Tuesday before that, so that's a tough week.
Yeah.
And actually, no. I mean, they go TA, Gorham, South Portland. Games 3, 4, and 5. I mean, that tells you, if they can get 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
Let's say they win all those 3. Yeah. If they get through those 3, if they win all 3, I mean, you have to say they're the favorite at that point.
Yeah.
They play Cheverus towards the end of the season. I don't know much about. You saw South Portland play last year. I didn't.
Yeah, they were really good. They had the really fun shot chart where I'm gonna screw this up, but they had made like 7 shots in the first half, but they were all from the same spot on the floor.
Oh my god!
And it was like, I don't know, I'm not a coach. I'm just a guy with a website and a podcast, but I would maybe guard that spot on the floor.
Right.
It just made me make them shoot from somewhere else.
Thing to look at the end of the season, last night of the regular season, Cheverus at South Portland. Have fun, everybody.
That could be for the 1 seed.
And they play they play twice. They play twice. South Portland goes to Cheverus opening night.
Ooh. That'll be fun.
Yeah. So, and then
so South Portland does have a new coach. I forget her name. It was her first year last year. Coaching South Portland, and she just won the state championship. That's all.
Good start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and no disrespect to the other teams in the region, but kind of look at the gap between a Wyndham and a Portland.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a little bit of separation there.
The teams that don't make the playoffs, I think we will know them very quickly in this region.
Yeah, so we have 16, so 11 make it. So, I think maybe your top 4 or 5 are pretty definitive. I don't think that you're going to have a team that you would consider to be a contender stuck in a prelim per se, but these are kids. Weird things happen.
Weird things happen. People get hurt. You never know.
As deep as this is, the North's also deep.
Yeah, so let's go to the North.
Yeah.
Okay. Yikes. Camden Hills is the one with 14 first-place votes. Hamden is second with 13 first-place votes. Bangor is third with 12 votes. Mount Ararat, defending state champions, they got 10 first-place votes. Edward Little is fifth. Brewer is 6. Oxford Hills 7. Brunswick 8. Messalonsky 9. Skowhegan 10. Lewiston 11. Mount Blue is 12. This reminds me of the old A North boys when Oceanside and Hamden and Madomic were there.
Yeah. So there are 7 teams in this division who made semifinals last year.
Mm-hmm.
Last I checked, only 4 teams make a semifinal.
Yeah.
So you're
I can confirm that math.
Yeah. So like Camden Hills, they lost to Hamden in the regional final. Hamden lost to Mount Ararat in the state final. Bangor, I want to say lost to Chevrolet they lost to Oxford Hills in their semi last year. Mount Ararat won it all. Edward Little made a semi last year. Brewer, struggling with numbers, but I think there's enough there that they can particularly win the games that they should. Below them, Oxford Hills
was very recently a juggernaut.
Yeah, and then Brunswick made a semi last year too. No, actually, Brunswick made a regional.
Oh, did they get to the regional final?
No, semi.
Semi, okay. But again, very recently a juggernaut.
Right. And then Messalonsky, they might have missed the tournament last year, but I saw them a couple times, and I didn't think it was, they wouldn't compete. Skowhegan is, they've competed. They've been a contender in years past. And then we'll see with Lewiston and Mount Blue, but
right. That would be my 2 cross-offs here if I had to cross anybody off at this point.
Yeah, I think you look in that 6 through 10 range, trying to.
Yeah, this might be 10 teams for 8 spots.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see. So Hamden, graduates, 1 player, off that team. A lot of people said they might have been a year ahead of schedule. It helps when they knocked off Coney, and then of course Camden upset Lawrence last year,
which was crazy fun.
And then that game,
unless you're from Lawrence,
in the regional final. So, Hamden plays Camden Hills twice. Hamden plays Bangor twice. I think those are the only 2 A schools they play twice. I do know Hamden does still play Lawrence. They have them once. So they have points that other schools in this division won't have access to. And then mostly, I think at least everyone here, they play each other at least once.
Right.
So, the little quirk here is with Brewer playing more Class B crossovers, they only have Hamden and Bangor once, which I'm not the biggest fan of. Their double is Camden Hills. The teams they play twice are Camden Hills, Ellsworth, and Presque Isle.
Can I just point out Camden Hills here?
Yeah.
They're on a bit of a heater. So I just want to the perspective of it. Spoiler alert, when we get to boys, they're not at the bottom of the boys A North list either. But these are, so the girls program, the boys program, and the football program were 5-6 years ago in really rough shape. All 3 of them. really rough shape. The football program was left for dead. The boys basketball program was really struggling. The girls program was really, really struggling, and they're all back, all at the same time. So I don't know what
And
Jeff
soccer
Hart's
hasn't
doing
gone
over there.
away.
Soccer hasn't gone away. Mountain biking hasn't gone away.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Jeff Hart's doing over there, but he's doing something right.
Yeah.
And I just think that's really impressive. Like they could have a really good scholastic year this year.
I want to say it's early. Maybe it's not as early as I thought. So Camden Hills, Bangor, I want to say the 13th of January. And then I want to say Hamden and Camden Hills play the second game of the season.
Oh.
It's real quick. So it's a good, strong test.
Is that a boys girls doubleheader or is it split?
I think they're split. Yeah, let me sort this.
Because for my purposes, I love a good boys girls doubleheader because then I can get 2 games for the price of 1.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, nothing really surprising. I thought maybe Mount Ararat might be a little bit higher here, but
they did graduate a couple people.
Yeah.
The Lampert, I think Kennedy Lampert.
Yep.
Is at SMCC now?
Okay.
CMCC? She's at one of the CCs, I think.
Jensen twins. They're still around, right?
Twins? The center?
I read a story earlier.
You've done way more research than me, which I appreciate because I've been shivering to death at football games. So I tried to buy a heated vest online, and it came in the mail, and it was basically George Costanza's puffy coat. And I was like, I can't do this because I'm trying to wear this under like a hoodie or something, and I just couldn't do it. And so I was just cold instead.
Yeah. So Alan is back from Mount Ararat.
That's it, Alan.
And yeah, the Jensen twins are there too. Kaylee Wags.
Yeah, so they have a lot of pieces back, but
yeah.
I mean, Lampert's a loss because she was really she could control that team for that offense for long stretches.
So yeah, that top 4, wow, that Wednesday afternoon is going to be fun. Tourney week.
Really, I mean, both A's look awesome.
Yeah,
this is what I really like about this configuration. You can quibble about they should be in C, they should be in D. S starts early. A and B look awesome.
Yeah.
Look just across the board.
Yeah, it's more balanced. I just think it's more balanced, and if you need 5 classes, the small schools should be the beneficiary of that. Everyone else can work.
And plus, those small schools, you don't know if they're going to have a team from year to year,
right?
And this way, like in the past years with AA, like there were 16 teams who were just rubber stamped to the tournament. And now all these teams have to earn their tournament spots, which is going to make the regular season way more fun.
Especially when all these teams play each other, at least once.
And they're not getting a bye to the semifinals because there's only 7 teams in AA.
I don't totally understand some people were like, how can a school with under 700 kids compete with a school with 1,700? And I'm looking at the school of 1,700 on the list.
And they're 11th.
11th. But I'm like, in the 90s, the cutoff was 675. Okay. And there were a lot more schools with more than 1,000 kids back then than there were now. Okay. A lot of those schools are in that 700-800 range. I mean, I don't hear these people complaining about soccer.
Or football.
Or baseball and softball. I mean, it's the same. This is the same 12 teams. Okay?
And in other states, an MDI and Portland would be in the same region.
Right. Yeah. So it's
and Camden's at the top of this list, and they're not the biggest school here by any stretch of the imagination.
No, I think there are 8 schools in this list that are between like 690 and 750 kids. You can't take an outlier and be like, we can't compete with them. And I'm just like,
we can't compete with this Lewiston team that's going to go 2-16
or what. I mean, it's just like it's you just need 5 kids. This is my team. It's Hoosiers. Just put 5 on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, hell, like 2 years ago or whatever, Massabesic couldn't field the team, and they're huge.
Yeah.
And then people are like, well, we can't compete with a school that big. Like, really? They can't even find a varsity roster.
Yeah. I think they nailed it, quite frankly.
I think so, too.
And if the games are good, I won't complain. I'll complain about other things.
There's always something to complain about.
Well, that's what the internet was invented for. That's why Al Gore invented the internet, so you could complain.
That's perfect. All right, let's take a quick break here, and mostly so we can decide later if we want to turn this into 2 parts, because we're at, an hour plus on this part, so this might end up being 2 parts. All right, I'll take a quick break, and I'll load up the boys. Okay, that's the show. Thanks again to Jay. We will do part 2 of this in either Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it's coming out. It depends on probably how quickly I can get it done. And so it should be fun. That's going to do it. Where's my outro? All right, this has been a production of MaineBasketballRankings.com, your source of the most comprehensive coverage of Maine high school basketball from Ashland to York and everywhere in between. This podcast is available wherever you listen to podcasts and a bunch of places you don't. If you enjoy this, please leave a nice review because it really does help out with algorithms. Tell your friends, tell your enemies. Thanks for listening.